now that you guys have actually seen my list and gone over why I believe this deck is a little bit better than the Dogmatica cousin to this deck, I think it's finally time I go over how the deck is played and how its basic combos function now that we're Master Rule 5 and have Dragoon. So let's just get right into it. We're just going to start off with, just Shaddoll Fusion. Now, this is of course assuming that your opponent does not have any sort of interruption, and this is of course going second because obviously this on stone doesn't do anything, so your opponent has to have an extra deck monster. So, what you're going to do is you're going to activate the Shaddoll Fusion to make construct by sending the Damage Juggler and the Squamata. The reason you're sending Damage Juggler over the good old-fashioned Trick Clown is because you want to have access to your or you'd rather normal summon the clown to get the other summon versus just sending it, not using the normal summon, and then basically just be losing out on one single resource. We're now going to trigger the Squamata effect and the Construct effect. You're actually going to do Construct Chain Link 1 and Squamata Chain Link 2. The reason why is because with the rest of your hand you could extend into Schism. So, of course, in this example we only have one card, which is kind of the whole basis for this entire combo. But in most other situations you're going to have one other monster in hand, and in that case you would just go normal summon. But in this combo we send Damage Juggler, so we don't have to worry about that at all. So if you get the Squamata Ashed, you can go into Construct, dump Schism, then you can banish this, search Clown, normal summon the Clown, link 2 into Anaconda, use the effect of Construct to add back the Schism, and then use the effect of Anaconda, summon Dragoon, set the Schism, and then you can have Schism Dragoon next turn. But with this case, we're going to go way harder than that because we are assuming your opponent has no responses. So, Construct and Squamata are going to resolve. You're going to send the Incarnation, and you're going to send the Wendy. There's the Aerial. We're going to need that in a moment. You're going to go ahead and send Wendy, and then use its effect to set Aerial from the deck. Or put it in the most opposite of columns. Then we'll use the effect of Damage Juggler, banishing at its cost, to search the Trick Clown. Then we will go ahead and normal summon the Trick Clown, then link 2 into the Cross Sheep, which is over here. And then you're going to put this in the farthest away EMZ from your Aerial. The reason why is because of column spacing. It makes it a little bit easier down the road. You're going to use the effect of Trick Clown to special summon it. Again, you're going to want to avoid the extra monster zones because you never know when you want to go in the EMZ. You don't actually run it in this build, but you could play like links or actual links that matter. And then Construct will trigger, adding back to Fusion. Just another discard. It'll come up later. Then you will banish Incarnation and Construct, targeting your Aerial to flip it. Then you'll use the effect of Aerial to special summon Construct to a Cross Sheep zone. Then you will go Chain Link 1 Construct, Chain Link 2 Cross Sheep to dodge Ash. You will then be dumping the Shaddoll Fusion. Don't worry, we will be getting to the Schism after not too long. That will be with the next summon of Construct. You will then go ahead and link off into the Alister link. And this is where things get a little bit wild. Construct will add back Shaddoll Fusion. Then you can go ahead and activate the Shaddoll Fusion, fusing the Trick Clown and the Aerial on the field into another Construct. Then you go Chain Link 1 Construct, Chain Link 2 Alister, pitching the Shaddoll Fusion you recurred earlier to the graveyard, searching Invocation, and dumping Schism. If you had another Alister in hand, you would actually not be dumping the Schism at this point. You would actually be dumping Hedgehog, which will then get a Squamata, and then you will be able to dump from there. Of course, that's assuming you don't just go straight Squamata with the Construct. You usually just dump Wendy at that point, though. That also plays around hand traps with it. And then we will dump the Schism. We will now go link 2 into the Anaconda, which will of course give us our Dragoon in a moment, but we need to get to this first. Effect of Construct, we will now add back the Schism, which will get us to our window on our opponent's turn. Then we will go ahead and activate Invocation, banishing the Alister link from the graveyard, and whatever you prefer at that point. You can either go, you can banish Trick Clown to summon a light monster, or you can banish Construct to summon, or excuse me, you can banish Trick Clown for Mechaba, or you can banish Construct for Aeogides. Of course, that just depends, that's of course assuming that your opponent doesn't have Nibiru, but at that point, if you're having Anaconda on the field and you're going Schism combo, you're not worried about Nibiru, because they would have Nibiru'd way earlier than this. For this example, though, I'm just going to go ahead and banish the Trick Clown, because you will actually want to use Aeogides later in the game if your opponent does not break this board, because that's how you will go into your OTK. There you go, there's your Mechaba. Sadly, we cannot recur the Alister with the Invocation, so that will just remain in our grave. Effective Anaconda, you will pay 2,000, sending your Eldol Fusion, or excuse me, your Red Ice Fusion for cost. Then you will just go ahead and send the other two materials to go ahead and get your Dragoon. There you go. There's your Dragoon. Actually, put it over here. And then you have Schism to set. Of course, you don't have any cards in hand, but since this is all one card anyway, you're more than likely going to have more cards to play with, especially if you're going second. So, with this board, you'll have Dragoon, Mechaba, a random card on your field, which you can use for Schism if you really needed to. You can either go Schism and Apkalone, because you have the resources with the Construct in Graveyard, which is light, and Ariel, which is a water, and you have Wendy, which is a wind. You can make Apkalone if you needed to, or you could just straight up go banishing one of the Dragoon materials and a Construct or something to go ahead and make Winda, which is also going to be able to out your opponent's Dragoon if they happen to have it. So yeah, pretty solid board with just one card. I think now we will go ahead and show you this combo with the Alister, including the Doll Fusion, but this time we're not going to do just Shaddoll Fusion, because it's more than likely your opponent is, if they know anything about Shaddolls, or if they're old enough to have played Duelist Alliance format, like the boomers that I am, they will actually know not to leave an extra monster on the field, so they will either out it with Big Dick Dino, they will link it off, or they'll just summon Dragoon, or a negate that will be able to heavy up the Construct, or excuse me, the Eldol, or the regular Doll Fusion. So, what you'll actually be doing this time is we will add Wendy, Alister, and a light monster, which will either be Nibiru, or best case scenario, it will be Trick Clown in this case. So, what you're going to do here, this will basically end on a similar board, except now you'll have access to the Alister in hand, so you can go even crazier with the Alister link. Of course, first thing you're going to do is you're going to normal summon the Alister, activate this effect to search for Invocation. Then you will activate the Invocation to search, sending the Wendy and the Trick Clown to make constructs. You will then go Chainlink 1 Construct, Chainlink 2 Wendy, Chainlink 3 Trick Clown. The Trick Clown will then block any ashes, or I guess they can still DD Crow if you wanted to, but they're not gonna. You will now set the Ariel from the deck, and you will send the trap card. So there's our trap card, and then our Ariel is right here. And of course, I always put this in the 5th column just because I'm so used to Invoked putting everything in basically the column you don't want it. So, you will now link off the Alister and the Construct. The reason you want to do link off the Alister is because you'll get more resources off of the Alister being in graveyard. That way you don't have to waste it when you're going to fuse for Mechaba or something like that. You will then go ahead and link into the Cross Sheep. You will not trigger Construct because, of course, you want to keep your Incarnation in grave. I guess if you wanted to flex, you could activate Target Incarnation, and if you try to DD Crow it, you just chain it. But we're not doing that. We're going to then banish the 2 to flip summon Ariel. Use Ariel's effect, special summon Construct in defense. Chainlink 1 Construct, Chainlink 2 Cross Sheep to dodge Ash. We will now be dumping the L-Doll Fusion. You can also dump regular Doll Fusion depending on what you prefer, but in this case I prefer L-Doll Fusion. Because if you had to, you could recur it and then make a window on your opponent's turn. We will then link off the Construct and the Cross Sheep for the Alister link. Construct will then trigger, adding back L-Doll Fusion. Then we will go Eldol fusion, linking off these two, or excuse me, fusing off these two for constructs. Of course, you will pitch a card, but for this example, we don't have them. But of course, you would have 2 more in hand, so those would be just duds. You just pitch them off that. Construct will be Chainlink 2. Alister will be Chainlink 1 because you want to get the invocation more than you want to get the dump off of the constructs. So we will be pitching a card. Of course, like I said, we will be just pitching another rando because, again, it doesn't matter. To search invocation, and then we will dump Schism from the deck. We will then go ahead and activate Invocation, banishing the Alister we had earlier, and we will banish our Trick Clown. We'll summon Mechaba. And then, of course, because we still have 1 more card in hand, we will pitch it off the Alister to search the second invocation. We will go ahead and do that. Don't worry, though, we will have access to another pitch soon because we are going to actually go effective Invocation Engrave. We're going to put it back to the deck and adding back Alister to hand. Now we are going to go activate Invocation, sending the Alister from our hand, and the construct will be banished to summon Apkallone. Or excuse me, not Apkallone, we will be summon Aeogides. Of course, we don't get the Alister effect because we do not have another trigger. But if you had Hedgehog, Beast, or Squamata, you would also be able to just keep looping this almost infinitely to get Caliga, and if you needed to, Purgatrio for going second. But now we do not need that. We will actually go Link 2 into the Anaconda. We will then be able to trigger Construct, and then Construct will add back our Schism. And then we go Anaconda into Dragoon. Sending Red Eyes Fusion and our 2 Garnets. There's Dragoon. And then we have Schism here. Go ahead and set the Schism. There you go. There's the full board. Of course, this also depends on what the rest of your hand is. You might want to go into the into the Aeogides first. You might want to just skip the Aeogides and Mechaba all together. Just go straight into Caliga. That way you can have Caliga win to Dragoon, which is also pretty good. But that would be an entirely different chain. That would just be if you had if you had no other monsters to discard off of Alister, you would just go straight into it. You would not even bother with the Alister Link. You'd probably just go straight into the Anaconda just so you can have the zones. But, yeah. Alright, that's the 2 main... Actually, no, I can show you one more combo that's kind of basic, but it does get the job done. It is the Alister and a Trick Clown. And, of course, this can be Meltdown, this can be Terraforming, and this will also be nothing else, because no other cards in this deck are just searching Alister. I guess if you're running set rotation like a monkey, but I don't know. What the hell are you going to put in? Mystic Mine? What are you, some kind of cancer person? Whatever the fuck that is. Okay. Pretty basic combo, but it comes up more than you think. Simple. It's going to end on Mechaba with Dragoon and the Anaconda on the field. Of course, no Shaddolls here, so you're not going to have any access to any Windas or Constructs or any of that other shenanigans. So, just go normal summon Alister, activate the effect, searching Invocation. There we go. Now, you're actually not going to go into the Secure Garden here. You're just going to end with the Almirage, because we just want the body on the field. This will be another body that will get us to the Anaconda in a moment. This needs to be over here. Then you will go ahead and activate the Invocation, sending the Trick Clown from the hand and banishing the Alister to go ahead and summon the Mechaba. Trick Clown will then trigger, special summoning itself. Then you can link these 2 off for the Anaconda. Right there. Then you can go ahead and add back Invocation, or excuse me, add back Alister with the Invocation in Graveyard. This will also allow you to play around Dragoon. You preferably want to do this before you go into the Anaconda, though. That way you can play around, or excuse me, not play around Dragoon, but you can play around Nibiru. Now, we just go effective Anaconda. We will go ahead and dump our 3 Garnets, pay our 2,000, and then we will just summon a Dragoon for free. And then just win, basically. Because Dragoon is silly for basically no reason. I don't know, man. I thought Masterpiece was a fair card, right? Everyone thinks Masterpiece is a fair card. Especially when Masterpiece can pop 2 cards on your turn, do some burn damage, and also is a better towers. So yeah. You gotta discard Dragoon Mechaba. Pretty solid, pretty simple. So, let's just go ahead and do some basic test hands to wrap this all up. Let's go ahead and do... I think we should do 2 of them. Just because I have to go eat dinner, and mac and cheese is for dinner tonight because I'm a poor college student. So, extra deck. Let's see what our hand is. We got Alister, Meltdown, Damage Juggler, Nibiru, and a Shaddoll. Let's see here. I believe this hand is basically normal combo, except you don't use the Incarnation. I believe in this hand you just go ahead and dump the Schism, and then you just go straight into that. So, you'll go ahead, just for the sakes, go ahead and go Magical Meltdown, searching an Alister. Of course, we already have one, but this way we can bait an Ash. Because sometimes people Ash Meltdown instead of Ashing Alister, for some reason. It's almost like they assume everybody who plays Alister already drew the Invocation. We'll go ahead and normal summon Alister, activate its effect to search Invocation. Then we will go ahead and activate the Invocation and not use the Alister. We're actually going to send the Aerial and the Damage Juggler for Construct. We will then go Effective Construct, and we probably won't be using Aerial because we're going first in this situation. So we will just do Construct Effect to go ahead and dump the Schism. We will then use Damage Juggler's effect to banish itself, searching Trick Clown. This is just basically a free resource. If we drew the Trick Clown, that would have been better, because now we would not have to waste a resource to get the... That is not Damage Juggler, that is Invocation. I don't know why I'm searching Invocation. We would actually be able to have one more resource for making a cross sheet play, which would be nice, but that did not happen, unfortunately. We will just then simply go into, I believe this is just a Schism. Or no, this is Dragoon. We will link into Anaconda, which is here somewhere. I know I play it. There it is. Anaconda. Effective Construct to add back Schism to our hand. We will go ahead and use the Anaconda, dumping our 3 Garnets to summon our free towers. There we go, there's our Dragoon. Of course, we can't do any more fusion plays this turn, but we can set Schism, and then during our opponent's turn, we can go ahead and flip the Schism, and we can either make Winda, or we can go into a app clone, because we have access to 2 different attribute Shaddoll monsters. Of course, for most situations, though, you're just going to go ahead and make a Winda, because it's basically the best thing you can just sit on. It's not destroyable. It's so Floodgate, and it floats into something. God, I swear, Schism is so good. I love this card. I think this is the card that actually made this deck pretty much amazing, because it's just better Eldol fusion. Also, ouch, Dragoon. And then our hand is still Trick Clown, Trick Clown, Alister for the follow-up, and a Nibiru in case our board gets outed. Do keep in mind, though, if the Winda is not negated, or if the Winda is on the board, you cannot Nibiru, because this summons 2 monsters at the same time. Of course, that won't work I believe it summons monsters twice. Not like a Psy-Frame, but like a, what's another card that summons one, then another? Oh, you know what I mean, though. This summons itself, and then it summons the token, or then it summons the token, or just summons itself. Yeah, that's a pretty basic board. This is kind of what you'll consistently see. Is if you open Alister plus a Shaddoll monster, you can usually get to a decent play. Just getting to that Construct is the first important part. If you can get Construct plus another body on the board, you're going to have Winda Dragoon almost every time. Of course, if you don't get hand trapped. Or if you're not playing the mirror, in which case you just activate Super Poly and just win. So, let's do one more test hand before I go get my macaroni. So, and, a Garnet. Hedgehog, Alister, that pretty much saves his hand. Ariel, and Wendy. This hand loses to Ash, like, really badly. If you don't get hit by Ash, though, I think this is pretty much playable. Let's see. So we'll go ahead and normal summon Alister. Activates effect to search Invocation, which is right here. Again, if you get Ash at this part, you basically just lose because you don't have any fusion spells, which is extremely important to get your plays going. So, we're going to go ahead and activate the Invocation. Do we want to just go straight into Dragoon here? Or do we want to try App Cologne? Let's go ahead and try an App Cologne play. We haven't done that yet. We'll go ahead and send the Wendy and the Hedgehog for App Cologne. Then we will summon it. We'll go Chain Link 1. I guess it doesn't really matter here. The Wendy and the Hedgehog don't really do anything for the combo. I guess we want to go Chain Link 1 Hedgehog, Chain Link 2 Wendy, because we can get Alister and then pitch a card. Yeah, let's go ahead and do Chain Link 1 Hedgehog, Chain Link 2 Wendy. So Wendy will go ahead and set probably Beast here, just because we don't really need anything else at the moment. But if we do end up fusing it off, we might have the ability to draw into another fusion spell, which would allow us to extend even further. So we'll then go ahead and link off these two for... we can't go Alister Link, but we can do Cross. Cross into the... No, Cross wouldn't do anything. We'd probably just go straight into Anaconda at this point, because even if we got the Cross, going into Doll Fusion and then fusing off into something else would not help. What we're probably going to end up doing is just dumping the Aerial. Oh, I did not search off of Hedgehog. That's important, because we can go ahead and search Beast. And the Beast will allow us to draw another card in just a moment. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and go into Anaconda, because we can't make Alister Link because we're dealing with two Dark Spellcasters here. We'll use the effect of App Cologne to search for the Schism. That's not Schism, that's Incarnation. We will search for Schism, and then we will pitch the Beast, because we have to do that. Beast effect to draw a card will then trigger, and we will hopefully draw another fusion spell. Drawing Eldel Fusion would be kind of nice here, because then we can go into Double Winda, which would be even sicker. Effective Beast to draw a card, and Shaddoll Fusion. Let's see here. Yeah, we can make Dragoon with that, with Winda, so let's go ahead and do that. Oh, no, we cannot, because if we pitch the Dark Magician, we cannot make Dragoon. You probably just... Oh, no, we can totally do it. We have a set Beast. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and go Fusion, sending Beast Aerial. Of course, Beast won't trigger because we've already used its effect. We will go ahead and go into the Winda. Aerial could trigger if you wanted to. You could banish Alister. That's a big brain. Use the effect of Aerial to banish the Alister. Now your Invocation is live. You can go ahead and return that back to the deck to recur back Alister. That is an extremely neat play that you can do on occasion. It doesn't come up all the time, but it is something that does come up. Really, really sick. Of course, Alister stays in the hand. Then you can go ahead, set your Schism, use the effect of Cobra, or of Anaconda, because you've not special summoned after you summon the Winda. Go ahead and dump your 3 Garnets, including the one that we always manage to draw, which is Red Eyes Fusion, and we will do the Red Eyes Black Dragon. And then here we go, we got Dragoon. And then, as a follow-up, we have Schism, which will, during our opponent's turn, we'll be able to summon another Winda. I could summon, well, not App Cologne, because we already used it. You could summon Construct if you needed to further your resources, especially during the end phase. It's not entirely impossible that the Winda you currently control will just stay there, because, of course, you have Alister in hand, which can boost it to 32, which is always really sweet. And you have the Dragoon, which can just prevent any disruption. This hand does lose to... Not this board exactly, because you still have Schism, but Dark Ruler would be actually kind of okay to play through, because if your opponent Dark Rulers you can go Schism, banishing the Winda, and probably keep Dragoon just because it's big. And then you can just banish one of your other Darks from the graveyard and keep your Winda, which is pretty sweet. You can even find people catching them off guard with this, because, like, against Dino, which is a pretty big matchup right now. You can go, when they go normal summon OV, trigger the effect of Lost World, you can chain this. Then when they summon your the token to your board, they can't special summon for the rest of the turn because they summoned a token. So yeah, this basically acts as the Vanity's Emptiness. It also outs the Overraptor if you really want to, which is sick. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it for the basics. If you guys wish to learn more, I can absolutely do a follow-up video to this where we can do more test hands. According to YouTube, 95% of you are not subbed to me and only find me through the search engine. Which, of course, every view is important. I appreciate every single one of you. But if you guys would like to see more content from me or be up to date on every bit of Shaddoll lore, or not Shaddoll lore, but Shaddoll tips and tricks, if I do a follow-up video for this, you will be the first to see it. So if you guys want to subscribe, I would really appreciate it. If not, I will be in the comments for the next few hours. And well, to be honest with you, I'm a college student from Oregon. I'm gonna be in the comments for about the next few days. Let's be real here. I will be checking those out quite frequently. So if you guys want to talk about the deck or just have some fun, chit chat, I will be there. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.